we have the game set up here. You can see it in all its glory. I've now taken over the camera. And here, let me introduce Kirsty to you. This is Kirsty. She's going to be playing. Are you tired, Kirsty?
A little.
Kirsty's a little tired. She worked all day. As did I. And it's starting to get late. But we're going to do this because we know you guys want to see it. So, to start off, to set up the game, what Kirsty did is she randomly shuffled in 10 of the event cards. Now, keep in mind, all the cards here are sorry, just got distracted by something. All the cards here aren't necessarily final artwork. So just keep that in mind. Like, we're hoping to improve it as the campaign goes, etc. So for example, like, I think we're going to change the card backs here of these event cards. But basically, she has 9 event cards here of the 1 to 3 players that she shuffled. And so then what's going to happen is she's going to shuffle these 10 conditions cards, which all affect the conditions board, which changes the weather. And then she's going to draw one. So go ahead and do that, Kirsty. All right, and what's the card she draws? So she draws Storm Danger. Regular action on terrain above 6,000 meter costs 2 supply tokens per space. So Kirsty's going to say, okay, she's going to discard this card for the rest of the game. It'll never get used. And she's going to move to the conditions board marker to Storm Danger. So what that means is that right now, climbing above 6,000 meters on the mountain, so you can see there's the 6,000 meters thing, is going to cost 2 supply tokens. It's going to cost more than normal to climb. She's going to put 1 conditions card into her stack of 9 event cards and shuffle it in. So if you had like a 3 or 4 player game, you would have, for example, a 3 player game, you would have 27 1 to 3 player cards, and you would have 3 conditions cards. You could also shuffle in 4 to 6 player cards, and so on and so forth if you wanted to make the game more difficult. But that's her stack. When she runs out of event cards, these 10 event cards, the game's going to be over. And so her goal as solo player is to get 55 climbing points by the end of the game. So she's also going to take and shuffle these route cards very quickly. We actually already shuffled these, but we just wanted to show you guys that we're not like rigging the game or anything. So she's gonna deal out 6 of those cards, and again, in a regular player game, you would also do 6. And then she's going to choose 4 of those 6. So each card is different. Oh wow, that's a lot of glare. Here, once you come this angle a little bit. So you can sort of see she has a bunch of different cards. So some of them are worth 8 points, some of them are worth 7 points, one of them is worth 5 points. And basically what she's going to try to do is she's going to try to figure out which cards she wants to complete, which routes she wants to complete. So each card is a different route. The 8-point ones are obviously much more difficult, and the 6 and 5-point ones are a little easier. But the other thing she's going to do is she's going to try to figure out what ones work well together on this mountain. So there might be a certain combination that is actually easier to try to complete for this particular mountain. So key part of this game is the actual initial strategy that you choose. You can always get more route cards at the end or during the game with an upgrade. But in general, you prefer to pick out good routes. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what she chose for this game. So she chose Sehenswürdigkeiten, which is a funny name, or it's not really a funny name, it's a German word. It basically means sights to be seen. And you can see that sort of reflected on this card. She needs to place a marker by a grizzly, a cave, a bivouac shelter, a crevasse, a snow bridge, and a waterfall. So she's going to have to go place markers basically by all the things that you see here on this legend that we have on the game base. The next card she chose, so that one's worth 8 points. So Kirsty's a bit of an advanced player, but she also knows it's a little difficult to get 55 points in a solo game. So she's going for some pretty tough cards. She has three point cards and 1 7-point card. So the next one is tour guide. Place 3 markers in trail terrain on each of the 3 mountainsides. So that means on each mountainside, she's going to need to climb and place a marker wherever that brown line is on the trail. She has canyoneering, which is climb across 4 different waterfalls. So you can see there's a waterfall there, there's a waterfall there. So she's going to need to get around and climb on all these different waterfalls. And then finally she has climbing guide, which is actually going to go well with her tour guide card. It's placed 3 markers in rock terrain on each of the 3 mountainsides. So she's probably going to be trying to do that, to work that with the tour guide card. At the start of the game, she gets 2 supply tokens, and she's also going to choose one of 4 of these character cards. Now again, this isn't necessarily the final artwork, but she's going to look. She has a Melissa, a Tenzing, she has a Rob, and she has a Pamlada. So she'll try to figure out what of these characters would work well with her particular climbing routes. For her particular climbing route, she's going to be moving all around the mountain. She probably won't be staying to one side too much, so she'll probably try to get something that works well with one of the things she has. So, at the start of the game, Kirsty's being very quiet today. So, for the AI mechanism, what Kirsty's going to do, she's just going to be playing with two dummy players this turn. So she rolled the dice, and at the start she's going to set up the AI guys on the mountain. So she rolled a 4, which means she needs to place in position, or mountainside 1, which is over here. And did you roll twice?
Yeah,
you got to roll twice. Mountainside 4 and position E. So she's placing the guy there. Mountainside 1, position E. Rolled again. Shoulder 1, which is also mountainside 1. And a 2. So, as you can see, both of our dummy players ended up going at the start to mountainside 1. Now they may climb to another mountainside. We don't actually know. Now that the dummy players have been placed, she's going to figure out where she wants to place her guy. She can place anywhere in any bottom position on the mountain. You decide where you're going to place? Where did you decide to place?
Here in a cave to help start off with one of my things for the Zen Spiritus Guide card.
Alright. So now that the AI, every time you finish the AI climber's turn, you want to discard the card because that lets you see what the AI guys might do next on their turn. So it looks like there's no sabotage. They're either going to be moving left or right and then up a space. So you always do the AI climbers first before your turn. So you roll the dice and it was a 1. So that means the first AI guy is going to move right and then up 1 space. So it doesn't actually matter the order of markers you place when you do the AI guys. So doing their turn is really fast. You don't have to spend a lot of time making someone else climb. And she rolled a 6, so they're going to move right and right. So that guy moved 2 spaces to the right, and then she places 2 markers behind. So effectively, these guys are filling up the mountain. And now it's the start of Kirsty's turn. She also gets to draw 4 supply tokens for that AI climber's turn. Alright, she drew her first condition change card, and there's actually only 1 per player, so it's a little bit random that she drew this first, but basically it means that the current weather on the mountain that she's going to be fighting, basically the whole game, is strong wind. And so basically strong wind reflects alpine terrain, so anywhere in the alpine, which is the green color, she's going to have to pay 2 tokens instead of 1 to move, unless she has a special upgrade, which we'll get to later. Let's see the strong wind. Now the nice thing about this conditions change card is 1, she gets 3 tokens for it, and 2, because she's the person that drew it, so for example, if you were in a 3 or 4 player game, she can actually ignore the effect of this conditions change for this turn only. So she now gets to do 1 of 3 regular actions. So, wow, bold move. Definitely an advanced player here. So at the start, for her first action, she chose to purchase 1 upgrade. So you can see there's her character in this upgrade board. It's actually a 3D upgrade board, which is sort of sweet. And she bought the harness. So that basically means that instead of having to pay, she can actually move up to 2 spaces in 1 action by paying 3 supply tokens. She had to pay 5 tokens and a route marker to purchase it. You'll notice that, or you won't notice, but once she's put a marker in the upgrade board, she cannot take it out. So the more upgrades you buy, the less possibility you have to put points on the board, because you can't use those route markers on the mountain. For her second turn, she's paying 3, and she's going to move 2 spaces on rock. So she can move to any of 6 spaces surrounding the current position. So she moved up to there, and then she moved over to there. And then as she does that, she places markers behind her according to the number. And I'm sorry my camera angle's a little bad. I set it up wrong on my GoPro stick. But she placed a 1 and then a 2, and then now she's there. So that's 2 turns. If she had a special action card, she could use it. And if she had a special character ability, she could use it. But her character's ability is for trail only. And so now she proceeds back to the AI climber's turn. Oops. So she rolled a 2. And that tells the first AI guy to move left and up, and then right and up. And she rolled a 4 for the other one, so it's up to the left, up to the left.
Let's do.
And I think she forgot to draw her 4 from the AI climb. There you go. When you're playing solo player, you always draw 4 tokens during the automated climber's turn. And she drew this event card, which is good weather, which means nothing bad happens. And she gets to keep this card for later. So here, let's turn it so the glare is not so bad. But basically, she gets extra points. 1 climbing point for placing markers on all 3 mountainsides by the end of the game. Which that one actually works out well with her current strategy. So she just paid 2 tokens to move 2 spaces, which basically used up 2 of her actions.
And I got my bridge and my grizzly bear for my senior special skeleton.
So she's slowly working on completing that route card. Now the climbing route cards, what matters is the actual text of the card, and the picture is just an example, because remember we have in the when you have all 5 mountainsides, there's over 120 mountain combinations because they're double-sided.
We're working on turn 3. So he had a sabotage if there was someone there, but there is no one there, so he goes just to the right there.
Alright, so she drew another event card. It says, extra map bonus, players with a purchased new maps upgrade draw 1 supply token. She does not have that upgrade, so it doesn't apply to her. However, she does get to keep the bottom part of the card for extra points later on. And it looks like she shuffled in the wrong card there.
No, I did it intentionally.
Oh, you did intentionally? So because it has that ice axe symbol by it, it's actually a more difficult card. So she's really laying on the challenge, apparently. Not recommended your first time playing.
So I'm going to pay 1 to climb onto here. To get my 3rd trail on this mountainside. And then I'm buying a helicopter for 5.
Buying a helicopter. So the first action was paying 1 supply to move 1 space on the mountain. Her second regular action was purchasing the helicopter. She's now out of regular actions. She doesn't have any special actions, and she doesn't have any character actions. Or yes, she does. She gets to draw 1 additional supply token with her character's ability. Rob.
Alright, so we got yellows over here on the side of me now.
So yeah, as you can see, the yellow climber actually moved from this mountainside over towards Kirsty, so that could get in her way a little bit.
He's going to go back over now, so because he has a move up to the left, which actually crosses back over the ridge. That's his first one. And back to over here. I'm starting to get a little worried here because this guy is taking up all my waterfalls that I need to cross. And then this guy also got a 4, so he's going to go up here. And then he's going to cross over to this other mountainside.
You notice this mountain is so tall, it's actually hard to fit in the camera from this close to it. So, she drew an event card. Wow, look at that glare.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. It's not your fault. It's the light we have. So, it's +2, and she has a special condition this turn. Basically, it's saying climbing on glacier turn requires 2 supply tokens per space because there's deep crevasses that exist. So, if she were to climb on glacier terrain, which is the blue, she would have to pay 2 supplies instead of 1 to move to them.
Alright. I'm going to pay 5 and use my helicopter that I upgraded last time. So this is where I was. Gotta leave a marker there. And I don't want this guy to take up this waterfall, so I'm going to fly right over here.
So she paid 5 to use her helicopter upgrade and move to a completely different side of the mountain.
Now I'm going to pay 3 to use my harness upgrade and make 2 moves on this rock here.
So you can see while it sort of took up her turn in the beginning of the game, buying upgrades and planning which upgrades to buy at the beginning can actually be really efficient, because now she just flew to a completely different mountainside and moved 2 spaces, which is a lot of movement for just 2 actions compared to what she started with an ability to do.
Alright. Now we're into turn 5. Yellow rolled a 5. Which moves him up here and over. And blue got a 2. So the direction that he's supposed to move is straight up, which is where I am. So he'll go over me and then over here into the bridge. Alright, drew a new card. +2. Oh, I gotta draw 4 for their turns. +2 again. Movement to or through snow terrain positions are not allowed on this turn. So I'm going to come back to this side later for the rest of my trail on this side. I'm going to head over to this side here. So I move 2 into the glacier over here.
Now, in case we didn't cover it before, I'm going to just explain once again how movement works on the mountain. So let's say that you're right here at this alpine position. Any space on the mountain has 6 surrounding positions that you can move to. So if you're there, you can move down 2, you can move up 2, which includes the other side of the mountain since we're at the edge here, and you can move sideways 2. So basically every position has a hexagon around it that you can move to.
And while I'm here, I'm going to go, I'm going to save this for next turn. Just kidding.
She's going to save her special action from an event card for next turn. Did you climb on trail at all?
I did. I do need to take that.
She's not very good at remembering her character's special ability.
Now, I have a question for you as the creator.
Oh, yeah?
For this climbing across 4 different waterfalls, if I come over here and I climb across this guy and into this position, does that count, or do I need to sabotage that one?
I would say it counts.
Okay.
As long as you can prove that you crossed it and
Okay.
you paid to cross it.
So, turn number 6 here. He has moved down 2 spaces, which he's going to skip over himself first to get down to that one there. So I'll always move into the first available position in that spot. And then he has 1 more down that way. So he's going to move down to this direction. And I draw 4. 2. Alright, start with paying 1 to move down to here. I'm going to use my special action from last turn of move 1 space to glacier position for free and discard it. And I'm going to go up into this space. And then put that marker. And let's see, going to gonna climb up here. Pay 1 token for that. No, I'll do my other plan. I'm gonna pay 3 tokens, so 2 more tokens. And I'm gonna use my harness. I'm gonna grab these 2 spots here.
As you can see, she has 14 markers on the mountain, which means she already has 14 points in the game. Actually 15 because you count your climber. So even if she hasn't completed any routes yet, she's still getting points just from climbing.
Okay. You're at turn 7. For yellow, 1, so he has a sabotage move first and then move straight down. There was no one there to sabotage though. Blue's got a 2, which again there's no one here to sabotage. If there was, he would pull that one out and then move into that space. And we're back to my turn. And I'll draw 4. Good conditions. This turn only ignore the effects of the conditions board. So if I need to move into Alpine, it does not cost me extra this turn.
What's the bottom of the card say?
It says extra points. Earn 1 climbing point for 5 markers below 2,000 meters at the end of the game. Let's see, so 1, 2, 3, I still need a big shelter, crevasse, snow bridge. Oh, I didn't have, did I have a bridge in it? I guess not. Okay. So, I am going to...
So just to remind you, Kirsty's 2 cards that she's been working on at the moment, along with the one that goes to all the different places, are Tour Guide, which is 3 markers and trail on each of the 3 mountainsides, and Climbing Guide, 3 markers and rock. So she's almost got that Climbing Guide on this side of the mountain. She already has 2 markers, or actually, 3 markers and trail on this side of the mountain. And if you come back here, you can see, oh, look at that. She got, well, only 1 marker and trail, actually.
I gotta come back to that side.
She has to come back to this side, but she does have all 3 in rock, which means she could always go to a different side of this particular area on the mountain to complete that. And over here, she already did that, right? She has 3 markers in rock on this side and 3 in trail. So she's actually fairly close to completing those routes she's going for.
Okay. Just start with climbing right to there. Paying 1 for that. And then I'm going to use my, I happen to get 2 of these special actions that move me 1 space into glacier terrain for free. So I'm going to use that one for moving across that waterfall there into the glacier. And then I need to get some spaces in quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and fly again. Pay 5 tokens. Leave my marker there. And I will fly to here. Down to here. There. Actually, I'm going to just land right there. And that's my turn. That's 2 actions.
You get to draw any extra tokens for your special ability?
I do. Thanks for reminding me. So, automated climber, turn 8. Our dice. Find our yellow guy. Roll a 3 for him, so he's going to move twice to the right. She's going to cross back over this mountainside.
So you can say in this game, this automated climber sort of started climbing and then he went up to the top. And apparently he had to come back down for some reason. And he actually came back down and went to a different mountainside and is climbing there.
He got a 2, so he's going to move the other direction. Like so. Oops, hold on. Alright. Getting a little nervous because I don't have much time left to finish up what I need to do, but we'll see if I can do it. Parking fee. All players who touch a vehicle today must pay 1 supply token. Which, I need to draw my 4 for the automated climber turns. I did drive to work today, so I will pay 1 supply token.
And so this is actually sort of a joke card that we had in here from our spiel demos. We're probably going to change it. But, yeah, it's just a little funny card that we had. Sort of promote, I don't know, being a little bit more green when you do mountain climbing.
Alright. It does have a special action, which will give me a grizzly bear. So that'll be nice.
She'll be able to use that special action with her Sehenswürdigkeiten card.
Alright. Alrighty, so for my turn, I'm going to come over here and get this waterfall before this guy climbs into it. And I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I paid 2, I think. So that's my 2 actions for my turn. I think, let's see. I think I'm just going to call it good there because I got to get over and get this snow bridge, so I'm just going to stay there. Turn 9.
My GoPro leaves these nice red glowing dots on these cards with these sleeves.
Next 2 turns, desert shelter. Go across the snow bridge. There's 3. I hit that. No, never mind. I hit that waterfall. Let's see. 1. So that is yellow. We'll go up this way and then that way.
So So remember, the dice rolling is only controlling a little bit how these AI climbers move. Kirsty can move wherever she wants on her turn. The dice does not affect that at all. And if you haven't figured it out by now, the mission is not necessarily get to the top. I don't think Kirsty's even gone above 6,000 meters, actually. So
Just barely.
just barely. Okay, one point on the mountain. She went that high.
All right. +2. Oh, and I gotta get my 4 from their turn, so a total of 6. And then I get to move 1 space on forest terrain for free as a special action if I want to use that. So, alrighty, just gonna do a couple flights. I'm gonna pay 5. I'm gonna fly up to this one here, get my last trails position on this mountainside, as well as getting a bivouac shelter. And then I'm gonna pay 5 more again.
Now, if you're wondering where she got her supply tokens from, remember, every time she draws an event card, of which there are 10, she will be drawing or paying supply tokens.
I'm gonna move to there, and I am going to go ahead and use my special action here to move 1 space on forest terrain for free, which right around the mountainside here is a forest position. Just trying to get some extra points on the thing at this point, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get my final card done. So
The canyoneering.
yeah.
So it looks like she may not be able to cross
1 waterfall short.
4
We'll see if I can do it
waterfalls.
still. This guy kind of screwed me up. This automated climber with taking up these 2 waterfalls is going to make it too difficult to get over any of them. Alright, so automated climber turn 10. He's going to move 2 in that direction. So again, he's got himself in that he's going to climb over to the first available position there, which is there, and then he goes 1 more position over there. So he's doing 2 in a row that way. And a 3, so he is going to move 2 in that direction also. So he's going to go from there to there and cross over the mountain to there. Alright, my final turn here.
Draws her last event card. Hidden crevasses. Movement to or through glacier terrain positions not allowed.
Now this moving 1 space to snow position for free is very helpful, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get me my last couple things I need, because I still need a snow bridge for this card, and I still need to cross this waterfall, which this is going to be the easiest one to do probably here. And I would have to climb over 2 extra spaces to get across it because he's blocking it there. So then I'm just not going to worry about that, and I'm just going to fly around.
What about that spot? Or no?
Same, he's got 2 spots there blocking it.
What if you went from there to that and then there?
But it's so many actions.
Mm.
I could fly to there. That's 1 action. Move to there and get to there, but I don't have a snow bridge then. And Sehenswürdigkeiten is...
Yeah, so you're going to go for
Yeah.
the 8-point card over the 7-point card.
See if, I mean, I won't get all my 4 routes completed, but see if I can at least make the 55-point mark. We'll see. So, I need to take my 4 for the automated climber turn, and 2 for the card that I drew. And I'm going to pay 5. Just leave a marker there in that spot. Pay 5. Find a snow bridge somewhere. Get 2 open on this side. I'm just going to go ahead and take this one. I don't think it's going to matter. Grab that one there. And then I'm going to look and make sure with my last action, see if there's anything I can do to get an extra point on any of these cards. So 5 markers in Glacier at the end of the game. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've already got that one, so I don't need to worry about that. I already climbed on all 3 mountainsides, which is that one, so I got that one. 1 climbing point per 4 markers in forest at the end of the game. I have got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm not close to getting a second set of 4, so I'm not going to worry about trying to do that. I've got 1 climbing point per 5 markers below 2,000 meters at the end of the game. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 markers there. And again, I've got that one exact. I'm not close to getting a second set of 5 for a second point on that. So I guess I'll just do as much climbing and movement as I can with these guys. I can only use one of them. I'm going to go ahead and let me double check and make sure I got this. Oh, I already had a snow bridge right over there. Just flew there for that snow bridge. And I could do it. I'm going back. We're pretending like I didn't fly yet. Same turn, right? It's okay.
Guess the AI climbers won't be able to argue with you.
So we're going to go. I am still going to fly. But like we discussed, I'm going to fly to that position. I'm going to pay 2 to climb into this position, but I won't actually get to move there because this is on alpine terrain, which is under the strong wind right now, so it costs 2 instead of 1 to move there. So I'm hanging out there for a second, and then I'm going to use that's my second action, but I have this special action that lets me move 1 space to snow for free, getting me down here, and then I technically just crossed that waterfall. And then came down.
So basically you can pay to climb over other players' positions. You just can't place a marker there if there's already a marker there. Unless, of course, you have a sabotage. Then you could pay to remove that marker and then pay to move into that spot. So is that the end of the game?
That's the end of the game.
All right. You think you did it?
I think I did. Let's double check my cards, but I think I got it. So on my Sehenswürdigkeiten, I have my grizzly here, my cave here. I've got a bivouac shelter right up here. I've got a crevasse over here. I think I've got a couple different snow bridges. See where they're at.
You got one right there.
Yeah, there's my. There's the snow bridge. And then a waterfall, which I also was crossing a bunch of waterfalls, so I'm at least over that one, and a couple more somewhere too. So I've got that one completed for 8 points. I've got a tour guide. I have 1, 2, 3 markers on trail on this side of the mountain. I have 1, 2, 3 markers in trail on this side of the mountain. And I have 1, 2, 3 markers in trail on this side of the mountain. Canyoneering, I climbed across this waterfall here. This is 4 different waterfalls. This waterfall here. So that's 2. This waterfall here for 3. And then this final one here that where I climbed over the yellow player. And so that makes 4. And the climbing guide, placing 3 markers in rock on each side of the 3 mountains. I got my 3 here on this side. Got 3 here on this side. And I've got 3 here on this side.
So you completed all 4 of your route cards.
I completed all 4 of my route cards for, let's see, 24, 30, I'm not too tired, 31 points.
Looks like it to me.
So I'm going to put my marker here on 31 points.
So you got 31 points.
I got...
And one thing Kirsty didn't do this game is she didn't use these route locks to lock her marker in. She wasn't too worried about the other guys sabotaging her. If she was playing maybe with more players or just a different game, she might have paid 1 extra supply token and put that lock on her marker in order to make sure it never got sabotaged.
I especially might have done it for like these ones where it was just 1 marker in Grizzly, 1 marker in Cave, because those are some specific ones I wouldn't want to have sabotaged. So I got 31 there from my from these guys. I had all of these. We just covered that I got all 4 of these extra point cards, 1 for each. So that's 4 more points.
35.
And I have, let's see. Well, we can look here. I climbed up to 24 markers. Or you want to look at them?
Yeah, let's look at the board. So the easiest way to tell is to see the last route marker you placed.
Which was this one here.
Which was 24. So then you basically count up how many markers you placed on the board plus your guy. So that's 25.
So that makes a grand total of 25 plus 35. So I made it up to 60 points. And that
she made
is my highest score I've done as a solo player. I've done it quite a few times.
So now, would you have made that if you hadn't changed your mind at the last minute and gone to that other place?
No, I would not have, because I would have 7 less points from this canyoneering.
So, as you can see, it took her husband reminding her, like, hey, you can go somewhere else, and...
realizing, and I went to double check.
And double checking her cards, but basically she didn't win that game till the last turn, so it was a pretty close game, I guess I would say, huh?
Mhm.
So there you have it.
And every move counted. I mean, almost all of my markers on the board. There was a couple that I threw in just because I had an extra special action, but pretty much everything I was doing was intentional. Getting markers that I needed.
You had, let's see, at the end of the game, you had 4 supply tokens left. So those, that was pretty close to really being efficient in how you used your tokens, because they don't count as points at the end. And you had 4 route markers left, so that's 4 more points you potentially could have used. You bought a total of 2 upgrades, and you completed all 4 of your climbing routes. Nice work.
Thank you.